Educator Barnes here. So, about a week ago, I wrote about a boy who had dreadlocks and was essentially told that he couldn't come to school because his hair didn't align with biblical principles. This Christian school, which I just thought was absurd because I'm like, every depiction and picture of Jesus I've seen, he has long hair. So, I don't understand how a kid with dreadlocks, hair is long, how that doesn't align with biblical principles, nor what does that even have to do with teaching. And it didn't take, 24 hours, then we had another incident. We had the black girl who was on video and she's crying. And I think about this situation and I think about my journey with my hair. I wrote about this situation, but after writing about it, I really thought about my childhood and thinking of my hair as other. And this happened when I was in first grade. When I went to school, my mom would put my hair, she would plait it, she would put braids on it, she would put these little things in my hair. And my mom had one rule: you better come back home with your hair the way I did it when you went to school. Well, at the time, I was going to IPS school 14 of Washington Irving, and there was some issue with lice. And so they wanted to check everybody's hair. And I get in the line and my hair is in these ponytails and that my mom had, braided up. And the lady took my hair apart. But the thing that I remember, first being mortified that she took my hair apart, because that just gave me a clue. It's not going to be the same way that my mama did it. But the way she just touched my hair, like, it was just disgusting. And I remember explaining to my mom, I said, she tried to do my hair, Mom, but she was just going like this, like she just couldn't, get it together. And there is something in our society that is inherently wrong, because there are people out there that just hate black hair. And to me, if you hate my hair, you hate me. Black hair is just so unique. If you've watched any of my videos, you've seen that my hair looks different all the time. I love the fact that I can straighten it out. I can put it in braids. I can put it in twists. I can have my big afro if I want. If I want to wear my hair really curly in its natural state, right now it's washed and I blew it out, but it has not been flat ironed out. If I flat iron it out, you'll get a few more inches hanging down. And so there's so many different things you can do with your hair, but some reason our hair has been criminalized and we are being forced to be in this kind of like Eurocentric style, which makes no sense because our hair is not European. It won't conform to that style. So why are we being forced to fit into rules that white people are putting upon our hair that makes no sense? And what makes me really angry about this situation is the fact that you're kicking a child out of school. You're traumatizing that child over something that they cannot control. Now, you can argue, well, they can control putting their hair in dress and they can control braiding their hair, but that means you don't understand black hair. You don't understand all the work that goes into maintaining our hair. The reason my hair is different sometimes, because sometimes it's just a lot of work to deal with. And so we put our hair in braids, A, because we love the beauty of it, but B, it helps with the maintenance of our hair. It's a protective style. And so for these people, these white people that are making these rules, who don't even understand hair, who see our hair as this thing that they're just uncomfortable with, making rules about what should and should not be allowed when you never have black hair, you're never going to have black hair, you don't understand black hair, you're not trying to learn about black hair, but yet you're going to put some rules in play to tell us what is acceptable about our hair when you don't have it. And I get so angry about this because you're kicking children out of school and your job is to educate our child. Unfortunately, you're giving our child a different type of education. You're giving them an education in racism and in hatred. And that's what's inherently wrong with this picture, is that one of the biggest fears of black parents is, when will that day come when our children recognize that all the things we tell you about, you have this pretty brown skin, you're beautiful, you're great. When will that moment come when you realize that other people don't see you that way and will never see you that way? So my hope is that we continue this dialogue and we put pressure on these schools, these districts, these institutions that are trying to dictate to us and trying to force us into a European style. And I'll even say, as a Black woman, it's even recently that I have even worn my natural hair to work. It's 3 years ago I started wearing my hair in its natural state. Even going to interviews, I felt the need that I had to straighten my hair. Or if my hair wasn't straight, if it's like this and it's really blown out, I would pull it back into like a nice bun because I felt like that I had to be acceptable. I mean, my name is Shantae Shacole, so I have a very unique name, which probably tells them that I'm probably not white. So when I'm thinking about going into the interview, even then I was thinking, I'm going to do this. But 3 years ago, it's just like, no, I just kind of got over it. And so I wore my hair to work for the first time in its natural, very curly state. And what was funny is, there are people that are very close to me that have never seen what my hair actually looks like when it hasn't been blown out, because I just didn't want to do it. But what was interesting when I started coming to work 3 years ago with my hair in different styles, it wasn't just about me empowering the students. It started a conversation with students. Well, Mrs. Barnes, how do you maintain the curls in your hair like that? I didn't know your hair was actually that curly. Mrs. Barnes, how do you get your hair so straight? How do you make that afro work? And so now I'm building this relationship, and I'm giving them pride because they see a grown woman who's not afraid to come to work with her hair like that. And so if I'm, as the educator, coming into the space and showing them that our hair is acceptable, wherever I'm allowed to walk and be and exist, I am acceptable. My hair is acceptable. And for them to see me have that confidence, it started giving the students confidence. So this is a call to action. We need to put pressure on those schools to change the rules, because what they're doing is unacceptable. And then you're going to hide behind the Bible. I mean, that's the same old tired story y'all been doing throughout the whole picture. Slavery. Oh, we're going to bring up the Bible. Every time I turn around, anytime we want to justify something, we want to read the Bible and put some biblical principle to it, and just taking it all out of context. So, let's try something new. Let's get to the crux of it. Don't hide behind the Bible. Just tell me what it is. Just tell me that you don't like my hair. You don't like me. Don't try to tell me that I'm not adhering to biblical principles. Because honestly, you don't even understand what biblical principles are if you have hatred in your heart for your fellow man. So keep putting pressure on those schools, because if we don't, we are traumatizing Black children. We're making them think that a part of them is inherently wrong, that their hair is wrong, something that they will never be able to control. They will never be able to change the fact of how their hair grows out of their head. And we need to protect our Black children from that type of racism and those type of systems. So if that means we start pulling our kids out of those schools, then we pull the kids out of the school and let the school close down. Because the one school said, well, most of the students here are Black. And so it kind of like throwing it out there like that made it okay. That don't make it okay. It could be a situation where the parents are trapped and they don't feel like they can go anywhere else. But we need to be making avenues for those parents to feel like they can go somewhere else, because you shouldn't have to change a part of who you are to get an education. The educator should be using who you are to help educate you, not trying to shape you and change you into something else that you're not meant to be. I'm not meant to have bone straight hair that looks like a white girl when I wake up, because that's not how my hair naturally is. Now I can straighten it out, but once that humidity hits, you get this or even something even bigger than that. And that's okay. I should have pride in that, because that's who I am. And so when we are letting these schools operate and dictating to us what Black hair should be, they are dictating to children that they are unacceptable. And I can't accept that. And you shouldn't accept that. So speak up anytime you see these situations or see these policies that are targeting Black and brown kids, because they're not acceptable. And that's what I have for you today. Until next time.